I'm ChosenArchitect, and this is Stoneblock 4. Ah yes, welcome back to some more Stoneblock 4, and well, today is episode 30, and that means it is World Download Day. So everything that is going to happen in this episode and all of the past stuff is going to be in that World Download, and if you're a supporter of any tier, whether that is over on Patreon, here is a YouTube member, through the Discord, or of course through Twitch, be sure to link everything up over on the Discord, get your accounts connected there, and you'll gain access to that World Downloads channel where you can find today's World Download. And with that being said, let's get on with today's video. Before we do that, I do want to give a huge thanks to all of you guys who do choose to support. You honestly make episodes like these and those that go past 20 to 30 episodes or so, you make those episodes possible. Thank you so much. Now, last episode we set up Antimatter, and I tell you what, this has really been chugging along. We already have 23 buckets worth of Antimatter, which I think is more than enough for what we're going to need today to be able to, well, make ourselves a black hole, which is going to be checked off the list, and also make chickens. That's right, more chickens. Now, because of the antimatter from the last two episodes that we worked on, we are going to be able to hopefully make a black hole today. And yes, this is going to mean particle collision, which should be completely doable with our current setup. Now, if you need a refresher on how my particle collider works, right here is the setup for it. Now, at the moment, I don't think there is anything inside, so we shouldn't have to worry about anything. We can just simply go ahead and get this started. Now, the last thing I set up in here was echo shards, and I didn't even realize I could just replicate echo shards. So I feel so goofy for like even putting it in here to make it, but it was still cool to be able to see another operation go on here. So we just need to make sure that this can reach the 15 that we're going to need to be able to collide that particle. So let's use any item, place it in here, and we just need to pay attention and make sure that this setup can at least reach 15,000 joules or 15,000 J in this particle collider before ending. If it doesn't make it, then we'll just make a couple of modifications, but I think it will last to at least 15, and it does. Definitely goes up to 15 easily. So we should be able to make a black hole today, like no problem whatsoever. And just to recap on this setup, I mean, it is very, very straightforward, and what makes it work is an accelerator magnetic field that is linked up to this particle accelerator using an advanced linker, which I don't have in my inventory at the moment, but it is from Oritex Things, which is an add-on. I do have 3 of the capacity tier 9 add-ons. We are also using a block called the power bank add-on extender down underneath the thing, which gives it some bonus power. And we also have efficiency tier 9 add-ons on here. And we have 3 of those as well. And then also capped on here are just a bunch of gates on all of the other sides because it does utilize as many sides as possible for powering it. And there's also no upgrades. I don't even have any upgrades on the particle accelerators, even though you can put upgrades on the bottom of them. They're just not super necessary at the moment. The more accelerators you put on here, the higher the speed will go before capping out. That is just something to keep in mind, because it allows it to spin up to a much higher speed before this starts to run out of power. So this can reach speeds of excess of over 55,000 joules. Just keep that in mind. Now, back to reality. Let's figure out how we're going to get our first antimatter, because that is going to be necessary in our steps to making this black hole, which will allow us to make this void container that we're going to need here. Well, to get the actual antimatter pellet, we are going to need a chemical crystallizer. Now, thankfully, we can make all of our antimatter and we can turn it into these pellets. And the reason why we can do this is because we can also revert this back into fluid anytime we need it in a fluid form. So it might be a good idea to just simply have it turned automatically into antimatter pellets. And so at the moment we have like 20 something worth of antimatter. So let's go ahead and pick up all of our antimatter that is residing right here, and we'll just put a chemical crystallizer on here, and that is now going to start building up into the chemical crystallizer. We can take our chemical tank, and I'm going to place this directly on top, and what I'm going to do is set this to output, and it's going to automatically output all of that antimatter into here, and we just got to give it some power, and now it's producing antimatter pellets. I mean, it's really that easy to get those antimatter pellets. I mean, the hardest part is all of this stuff that you see behind me, of course, the fission reactor, and then, yeah, setting up all of the polonium processing. I believe this is polonium, right? Yeah, polonium processing to make the antimatter itself. But you know what? Now that I have that antimatter, oh, it's time. It's time to make a black hole. This is going to require a small chaos fragment, and then we need to collide it with that fragment that is spinning around. We need to collide it with the antimatter once it hits that 15,000 joules. And I believe that we should be able to easily do that based on what I just showed you. Now, I feel like I should be nervous here, but yeah, I mean, this is just creating a black hole item, not creating an actual black hole. Ooh, I mean, it would be a lot worse if it was a actual black hole that's generated in the world, which I think is a mechanic of this mod. Just kind of mentioning that of like how it would normally work. I think you would use this to generate a black hole, and then you would use that black hole to make power. That's pretty cool. Now over here, we'll put this particle in, but first let's set our rate. We need to set this to 15,000. And then I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to click this just to make sure it does do this. So greater than 15,000, make sure to send the item from here by giving the drop per redstone signal, send it into here. So we'll put the antimatter pellet inside of here, and then we'll drop in the small chaos fragment and let it accelerate. And watch. By the way, do not stand in the path of the acceleration. It can kill you. But this should work. And... oh boy. Please work. And it worked. I think it worked. I heard the noise. It made the sounds. And we should now have a black hole in one of these. Either or. Oh boy, we don't. We don't have a black hole. It reached the speed though. Oh, maybe we will need accelerators on here. Just a couple of accelerators. Oh, no, it output. Oh, there's our black hole. I forgot I put a hopper on here. Oh yes, it definitely worked. So good. Please, don't place this unless you know what you're doing. Do not place this, but we now have a black hole in our hand. We have there's literally a black hole in my hand. Now, if this doesn't say something about Steve's or Minecraft characters' carrying capacity, I don't know what does, because we literally have the heaviest object known to man in my inventory right now. Well, or at least theoretically the heaviest item, that is. I don't even think it's worth mentioning like the concept around solar masses and all of that stuff. You know what? I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Now, with all of that set up, we have one other thing, and that is powering the void and getting our major world upgrades set up. We do have dark matter, and it is wanting a void container to be made, and we need to use the black hole to craft the void container. So we'll get all of these components made up, and voila, void container now crafted. And this unlocks a lot, including the ability for us to craft chickens. Now, I wonder what this could give me at this point that would even be relevant. A villager hat. Of course, yes. A villager hat, of course. Nothing I could want more right now than reducing the cost of villager trades. Ah, yes. But now that we have these items, we need to go speak with Radiance. All right, so time for me to pull out my good old Chronon battery, and let's take a trip. Take a good old trip. Oh boy, over here to go see Radiance. Now let's see what Radiance has to say. Oh man, look at all this. The tachyon absorber. These are actually what you would use to generate power from that black hole. Very cool. All right, what do you have to say? Are you going to speak with me, sir? Yes, apparently right click right now is a little bit broken, but you can click on the echo projector itself. And so now I can complete its task. Ah, and the WERK system will be updated with more knowledge soon. Very, very nice. Thank you, dude. So we can complete this. We get ourselves our 50 buckaroos, and we now need to auto build the void upgrade. So this does need a dark matter block in order to do that. So let's grab ourselves a singular dark matter block, and I'm assuming it like goes on top of it somewhere, but we'll take this, submit, and submit this. And then we hit assemble. And I have no idea where it's putting it. Oh, right dead in the center. Oh, very cool. Okay, so I kind of get it. It's like a miniature black hole down in the bottom here. Ooh, I don't think I've ever seen this block be placed. I don't think I've ever used that block, to be honest. It's really hard to even get down here now. Ah, cool. I mean, normally the utility of that item would be to like void items, like you just use it as an item void. But yeah, it's kind of cool in this this context. But I guess now at this point, it's time for us to meet Infinity. According to the quest, we need to go have a speak, and we weren't able to talk to Infinity before, so maybe we have sort of proven ourselves. Also, notice we're sort of standing on a similar platform to what they're standing on. Is this... They're all echoes. Does this mean I'm eventually going to be turned into an echo as well? This is my overthinking brain, quite literally overthinking at the moment. I know. I probably shouldn't do that, but I do. All right, Mr. Infinity, what do you have to say? A living, breathing human within the void. How curious. Okay, so now we've completed it, and we actually get to hear who the Echo of Infinity is.
You have heard whispers of infinity from the echoes, but they grasp only fragments. The work's simulations can imitate knowledge, yet they cannot comprehend the truth behind it. Infinity is both the beginning and the end, creation and collapse intertwined. Do not fear what you cannot fully grasp. You need not understand infinity to wield its power. You need only follow the path I will reveal, for I have walked it countless times. Begin by compressing matter into distinct singularities, each embodying a separate aspect. Your world engine will then combine them into a single infinity singularity, the catalyst for creation itself. From it, you may forge the infinity ingot, an alloy that contains the very essence of being. Once you have gathered 9 of these alloys, shape them into a block and place it alongside 2 reactor neutron reflectors to shield your world engine from collapse. Only then will you unlock the final world engine upgrade.
Did he just say collapse? Wait. What do you mean collapse? Our world engine from collapsing? I mean, it is fair. I did put... Oh, man. Yeah, that is true. I did quite literally just put like a black hole in my world engine. You know what? What do you have in the shop here? Ooh, stack upgrade omegas? 10 hours in a temporal pouch. 100 hours in a temporal... 1,000 hours in a temporal pouch. Why would I even need these? I mean, I'll take that omega tier stack upgrade. That thing would be fantastic for the mob farm if I hadn't have already dumped my entire mob farm into my AE system. Yeah, that's a thing. So I guess now our goal is infinity, making infinity ingots. Oh boy, all of this just sounds so overwhelming, and I'm kind of interested to see what these next chapters are going to look like. Oh boy. So taking a look into the quest, we have this, the singularity itself. And making these singularities are going to require Fortron, Strange Matter, and then also this world tier upgrade, which we just completed. And so we need Durathium singularities. I think we are constantly producing Durathium, by the way, which is nice. Fortron infused. These require like 50 ingots. Ooh, and I think there's a special way we can actually make this ingot, by the way, that is separate from the world engine to not clog up the world engine, which is very, very nice, which I think is this one. The Enderic Infuser. Yes, we really need to get this set up today. And it is going to require stress units, as I've seen there. An Enderium singularity, where we need to make Enderium. And let's see, Enderium is made in this way, it looks like, but the block is actually made in the world engine. So yeah, I think this recipe right here would be better to not yet again clog up the world engine. We also have Energite singularities. These are another component that can be made with many different options. Ooh, I think that would be the fastest way to produce it with the energizing orb. 100% the fastest. But I mean, we do have a passive amount of them, I think, already generated, because I have been passively generating it this whole time. Then we also have infused pearls. Okay, infuse, which is going to require all of these components just to simply be crafted to craft infuse ender pearls. 50 of those are required for 1. And then the uraninite. Interesting. And uraninite is another empowering recipe, I believe, where we take uranium and we turn it into uraninite. This is also going to require a heat of 750 degrees Celsius. Very, very hot. And a bit of Fortron, like I said, and a little bit of power. I mean, that's not too bad. And that makes an infinity singularity. Now, I'm definitely getting ahead of myself. I still have a floor to place in, and we also have chickens to make, right? Because we need ourselves a Neutronium chicken. We also need a chaos chicken and possibly any of the other chickens that we may be missing. And at this point, we can make all of those chickens. Also, when it comes to chickens, we have a few slots left, only 4 chickens left. And that is going to be a Skystone chicken, Chaos chicken, Antimatter chicken, and the Neutronium chicken. You know what? First on the list, I can easily make the Skystone chicken. So we'll get that one cooked up real quick. And while that one's cooking up, let's see if we can't get our setup to Chaos tier so we can make ourselves a Chaos chicken. This is the one we are missing. So we are going to need another awakened chicken, which I believe isn't going to be too bad for us to make. But yes, we do need Draconic cores for this. Now, this is something I was kind of wanting to automate anyways, and it's how you can actually automate the Draconic evolution setup. And that is going to require modular routers. So modular router is going to be one of the easiest ways to set this up. And we really just need a couple of setups for this. We need a modular router that sends the ingredients for a recipe that is sent from a pattern provider. And we also need to make sure that it sends the first item into the injector here. We also want to regulate and make sure it only sends one of those. I mean, but outside of that, it's a pretty straightforward process comparable to many of the others that I set up. For example, the actual editions. So instead of me explaining it, let me actually show you this. So we'll take a modular router. I just want to attach it directly to the pattern provider here. And then we need to basically understand that the pattern provider is going to send out a product. We also want this to be set to locked crafting mode, lock until primary crafting result is returned. This is going to be pretty important so it only injects one recipe pattern at a time into the modular router. Now, the modular router needs to send, so we're going to use these distributor modules to then send the thing that goes in. But the first thing usually in the recipe is the thing that goes into the actual crafting core itself. And so for that, we do want a sender module to be the first thing that handles the first item in that list. So we'll go ahead and we will specify a whitelist, and this is going to be specific to the items that we are going to be automating in this setup. And then we also want to make sure we only send one of those. And so we'll use a regulator augment, and it will only allow one of those items in, because there are some items that are required in here and also in the injectors. So this is going to be something that is pretty important. So now, once it receives that first item that is also in that whitelist, which we'll define later on, then we are ready to go. And we just need to use these distributor modules to send out of the router. So by default, it's transfer out of the router. And we need to go through each and every one of these and shift right click them and set them to single item mode. This is kind of important. Every single one of these needs to be changed from stack to single item at this point. And then the magic starts. We just need to select as many as we can before it starts saying, hey, we can't anymore. And then we'll just use the other one to send to the rest of those, just in case it didn't actually distribute to all of them. And that is basically it. Once this is complete, we do need to pull the items back in. And so that is where we will use another puller card. Let's see, we'll use a puller MK2. This is going to pull out of here and send it back into this pattern provider. So let's take that and we'll shift right click. But on here, we need to do something special. I want to set this to only allow prior to work if this one did have something to pull out. So determine if no match, do not execute any subsequent modules on this tick if this module did not do anything. So yes, we do want it to terminate any of the other modules that are on this. So this is the one, terminate on no match. And so that will be the next in line, which is going to pull there. And then our pusher is what we're going to need, or sender. We need another sender module, just a regular sender module. However, we want the sender module to send directly into the back into the pattern provider. So inside of the settings here, we'll send it to the back. Nothing fancy needs to be added to this. But this is the one that will get terminated if there is nothing that is received back. So this will just make sure that this does not accidentally send any of our other products, which is going to be pretty important here. So I think that we are just about ready now to make our patterns, and I'm just showing you how simple this is to actually automate, so long as we have modular routers. For example, we need to make Draconic cores. So the recipe for Draconic cores requires a nether star. This should be the first thing that gets put into the list. You can see nether stars right here, and then we'll just create the pattern for that And then we need a nether star. So we can set it as a filter inside of our cinder module. And I do like to do this. This is just to make sure everything is filtered right here. Place that back in. And anytime we add a new recipe, it's sort of just set it and forget it. Because now at this point, the only thing left to do is give this some redstone signal. So it's constantly being supplied. And now we can request any of the draconic cores. So I can say, I want 10 draconic cores. Can you please send the ingredients for those, please? It will send out the ingredients, start the craft, which it is currently doing because the redstone ticked that. And as soon as it's done, it'll send it back in. And because we have it on locking mode, you can see it's currently waiting for a draconic core to come back. That's being crafted up. Draconic core gets sent back, and then a new set gets redistributed. Perfect. And then I wonder, can we accelerate this to make this go a little bit faster? I mean, surely we can make this go faster. I would completely assume so. I'm going to place that here. And then, okay, make sure that it is not being pulsed with redstone. I didn't know that was redstone toggleable. There we go. And, oh yeah, that goes a lot faster, I think. At least it seems a lot faster. At least the crafting component part itself is faster. Actually, you know what? It probably would be faster if everything was included in its hitbox, which it's not. So maybe this is included in the hitbox. F3. Oh yeah, that's definitely all included. So now let's try 10 more of those. And is the charging any faster? I actually can't tell here. I can't tell. I mean, the charging may or may not be made faster. I mean, now good news, everything is going to be very fast from this point forward because we can take all of our draconic injectors. Now that we have the void container, we can actually upgrade these things into the chaos tier. So I've just got to set the crafting recipe, and there we go. And notice, by the way, that the only reason I'm able to make these now is because we have that void container set up that we just crafted. So beautiful. This can all be set up, and we just need to send that to the world engine, and 12 of them we need to make. So go back to Draconic, and we'll say make 12, and it needs wyvern injectors. No. Oh, this is a recipe, right, that I have to do by hand. That's right, because AE does not like Draconic evolution one bit. So back to the world engine we go, and drag each one of those in one at a time. Now, the nice part about the automation we just set up is that placing it back down shouldn't really change anything. It should still be linked to the same block position, and nothing should have changed other than the fact that it's going to craft a bit faster. So I can say 10 more of those, and it's going to throw them all in just like before. However, it does allow power to feed in faster, allowing this craft to happen faster. And now we are ready to craft this up. So we have draconic cores that are on autocraft. I'm sure we're going to need other ones on autocraft in the future after we craft this up. For example, chaotic cores, I think, are utilized later on down the road. So we'll probably want those too. And those are going to require all 12 of them and also the prior craft to be able to make it. But none of this is going to be really possible unless we have ourselves some chaos shards. And so that chaos chicken is going to be necessary. Now I have plenty of awakened draconium chickens because I did make 2 of them and I was able to breed up a few of them. So yeah, we just need a few of these. Now, large chaos fragments. I think this I did calculate was going to cost me like 2,000. So large chaos fragments, let's go ahead and craft up a few of these. They can be downcrafted, by the way. This will allow us to make the large ones. And so there are 7 of them. That is more than enough, I think, to be able to make this, right? What these use? Large? There we go. Perfect. And this should be really easy to do now that we have the modular router set up, because we can just toss these in like that. And that puts everything into the crafter automatically for us and also sends it back. So with our chickens, we now have a chaos chicken. There we go. Beautiful. And I know this doesn't seem like much, but this thing is going to save us so much time. So time to get this thing getting some cluck strong. I wonder, once this thing is fully maxed out, how much is it producing? How quickly? We'll throw it in. You know what? That rate's not too bad. And 6, yeah, that's going to be plenty fast enough. Also, by the way, just with a little bit of changing of our factory manager code here and making it redstone pulse due in this operation, I can tick this, and that does mean that if I need more of it, I can actually accelerate this, and it is able to keep up with it being accelerated. As you can see, that's already more than I generated over the last several hours worth of letting the other setup build up. It's ridiculous. Now, you know what? In between making the chickens, I was like, you know what? Let's go ahead and get this floor. Let's start actually doing something with the floor. Also, what happened here? Why is that open sideways? I have no idea what happened there. Anyways, but I'm thinking about going with the factory blocks, but not just factory blocks. These are nice and rusty looking. But so I'm laying an outline basically of the regular factory blocks, but I'm going to change this up. And we're going to use another variant of the factory blocks in here to give this some interesting texture. So it's not just super plain like you see here. That other variant is the rusty plate, and we've been using the dotted rusty plate. And it looks like this. So I've added it along the edges to kind of give this like this trim look. And then in the middle, I have the regular plate. And so we have the nice factory areas the closer you get to this, and a nice smoother walking surface on the main walking path. And there we go. I've carried that all through here, through the whole floor, and I think it fits that whole industrial vibe a little bit nicer. Now to figure out the walls, I still don't know if I just want to leave it stone. Maybe you guys should let me know down in the comments below. Should I make the walls something special and also maybe change the look of the pillars and stuff like that? Or should I just leave it stone? I mean, this is stone block after all. But now with that out of the way, let's go ahead and make our Neutronium chicken. So for this, we need a heavy core. And I am going to make at least 2 Neutronium chickens here. So I do need to make another core. The core we originally had, we actually found, and it was inside of these like end areas that are off on the map way out here. These like little end cities. I did happen to find one in there, but at this point we can easily make a heavy core in our particle collider. We just need to use the engraving from Aurotech to take these things, combine them together. We need to get to our Aurotech section all the way over here. Throw this inside, and we can make some reinforced Deepslate. I think that's what it's called. Deepslate, reinforced specifically. Make like 10 of those. Throw that together. Our lasers are going to kick off, and you can see all of that working as it should. Beautiful. Now, I do need to crush up some Durathium, and unfortunately, the only way you can pulverize this at the moment is within an Aurotech pulverizer. And I think accelerating this makes it go a little bit faster, but it's still limited, I believe, by the input rate of the machine. And so back in here, I think this was an 8,000, I think. 8,000 that we need to check. Let's just check this one last time. Yeah, an 8,000 collision. Interesting. Okay, so we'll throw this in here, and we just need to get one more heavy core. Plop that in, and then let the process start. Oh boy. I really do like this. The more that I've like learned about this setup, I mean, this is a really cool mechanic. It's very intimidating though. Like what an intimidating concept to have all set up, but beautiful. Now we have ourselves a heavy core. But now this should be as easy as crafting all of the components, throwing it down here into the world engine, and getting ready to craft this thing. All right, so Neutronium chicken. We need at least 2 of them. For right now, I'm going to start with 1. But yeah, we have plenty of these piles for this. Now that we have the Neutronium chickens, we can breed up the Neutronium chickens like this, and we can use them for whatever we need. I know that we're going to need one for the antimatter chicken. And so to at least make antimatter chicken, there we go. And after we have one antimatter chicken, making another one is going to be quite simple. And that's kind of next on our list, but I do have to get this chicken some gains first, and it means leveling this bad boy up all the way to 128. I tell you, that Neutronium chicken's looking pretty strong now. Perfect, all the way leveled up. And so I hope this one is just as fast. Oh boy, that's not, oh wait, oh, we have the wrong seats. Okay, there we go. I mean, yeah, there we go. That's exactly what I wanted to see. I was hoping it was going to be at least that fast. That's plenty fast enough. And the little bonk here just to kind of get it caught up. And before I know it, I'm going to have more in here than I currently have from all of the time letting it being accelerated by other means. Ah, What a relief. With all of this, we are now on to making an antimatter chicken, and this should be something that we can get done like now. So now that I was looking at this, it actually takes a little bit more than I thought for the antimatter chicken, because I forgot that the antiprotonic nucleosynthesizer actually requires 2 antimatter in its craft. Completely forgot about that. So yeah, you would need a total of 12 antimatter to be able to technically make this, 2 of those being just used for crafting the machine, 10 of them being for actually making the chicken. So pretty interesting. Plus you do need 1, so technically 13 antimatter in total is needed in order to make this chicken, because you also need 1 to make the black hole that allows you to craft it in the first place, because you also need that black hole to be able to make this chicken. So yeah, 13 antimatter, and it's honestly not too bad. It does sort of seem like the rate is doubled in this pack, because I mean, with this same setup compared to other packs I've played, this does seem like it is generating almost twice as much, and I think that's why my energy input rate wasn't able to keep up whenever it was lower at 3000. So I basically probably needs about 6 million RF per tick and probably run it just fine. But yes, anyways, there we go. All of that stuff ready to be set up. And now we just need to make the Mekanism antiprotonic nucleosynthesizer. I'm not kidding. That's its name. That's what it's going by. I'm not even going to make an autocraft for it, because you really only need 1 of these machines. The 2 antimatter down the drain for that. Very nice. We'll store these away, and we can use a chemical oxidizer to reconvert this back into regular buckets of antimatter. And I think that's going to work out really, really well. So let's go ahead and place this right there. We can have a chemical oxidizer in the back, and I'm going to have the chemical oxidizer output chemicals to the back automatically. And we just put this in. That's going to then take all of the stuff. Let's get some gates on here just to make sure it has some power. This, I'm going to want a point, because I think this does use quite a bit of power, if I remember correctly. It's been a while. This is not a machine I use very often, trust me. But yes, that is going to build up with the antimatter. And once we have all 10, it's just a matter of putting the chicken in here, and that will process in to the antimatter chicken. I mean, yeah, that's kind of awesome, actually. Really wish this machine had more uses, though. Like, I always say this in many mod packs, and I don't even think I did it in my own mod packs when I made them in the past. This would be a cool machine to utilize for many different processes, like requiring antimatter to at least get it, but once you have it, allowing it to have a bunch of conversion recipes. Not just utilizing antimatter, but like utilizing any sort of material. I mean, shoot. Even the ability to take all recipes and maybe duplicate them with a little bit of antimatter, that would be kind of cool too. I mean, I'm just throwing ideas out now. That one's for free. But here we go. We need the Neutronium chicken, which we now have. We place this in here, and it's such a cool animation and sound. It's one of my favorites. Uses a lot of energy. Oh, and that's it. Antimatter chicken done. It's so awesome. We still got to level this bad boy up, but man, we now have an antimatter chicken, making getting another antimatter chicken really, really easy at this point. But I definitely want to level this bad boy up, get those gains. And it is almost there, almost all the way to the 128. And I really wonder if this one is going to be really slow or pretty equal to what we've seen over here. I don't know what a use would be like for the antimatter chicken, like after getting them. But like now we will have one. And so this one is completely leveled up. We'll throw it in here, and wow, it is a lot faster than I thought it was going to be. Okay, and beautiful. I mean, there is a use for these, because we are going to need to convert them, and we are going to need to smash them into stable antimatter, as this is a part of the infinity ingot progression. But now we have it, so that shouldn't be anything for us to worry about. So I don't know if I've ever played a pack where you can gain antimatter pellets this quickly. That's already at 16,000 pellets. That's so many. So you know what? With that, I think we now have just about everything we are going to need to automate all of the processes in order to make infinity ingots. And I hope you guys are here for the ride, because over the next few episodes, that is what we are going to be taking on. And yes, my goal is to at least get all of that done and to potentially peer into those elusive creative items that I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how they're crafted in this pack. And so if you don't want me to punch the dog, then be sure to click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and give this video a huge thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And also so you don't miss the next episode, because I know YouTube's algorithm can sometimes, screw those things over. So definitely be sure to click that subscribe button. And guys, with that, it's now time for me to thank the amazing supporter of today's episode. And that huge things, well, that is going to go out to the Telltale Gala. Thank you so much for your amazing support and choosing to support me over on the Discord, becoming a Discord premium member, and supporting my content in one of the best ways possible. You absolute boss. Thank you so very much. And I, of course, guys, look forward to seeing all of you in the next episode. And as always, thanks for watching.